So as we look at 2.3, which is greatest common factor of factoring, we just have to remember what a greatest common factor is. So remember that's the largest number and or letter that divides evenly into each term. Oh, I forgot to write divides. So if I'm looking at just strictly numbers, 45, 81, and 117, I'm trying to find a number that will go into all of them. So if I start with the smallest factor, my factors of 140 or of 45 are 1 and 45, and 5 and 9. Oh, and 3 and 15. I forgot 3 and 15. 3 and 15, 5 and 9. And so what I want to do is I start with the largest. So my largest number is 45, and I look to see if it will divide into 81 evenly, which it will not. I look at 15, 15 will not divide into 81 evenly. My next biggest is 9. 9 does go into 81, so we're good with 81. So it checks off there, and then we need to look and see if 9 goes into 117. So if we're not sure, we can just physically divide it with our calculator. Another trick is if I add my digits up, 7 plus 1 is 9, and 9 divides into 9, so it checks out. So that means my greatest common factor would be 9, because that's the biggest number that divides into all of them evenly. When I look at example 2, I want to look for my numbers and my letters. So when I look at my numbers, I look at 24, 56, 4, and 12. So 4 is my smallest number, and so I look at the factors. I've got 1 and 4, or 2 and 2. And then I also look at my letters. And so my smallest letter is x to the second. So as I look, my biggest number is 4. And so I look to see if 4 goes into all my other numbers. So does 4 go into 24? Yep. Does 4 go into 56? If you're not sure, divide, but it does. Does 4 go into 12? Yep. So my greatest common factor is 4. And then it's the letter with the smallest power. So it'd be x squared. So it says, well, what does it mean to factor? So what it means to factor is that we divide out the GCF of each term. So I'm just going to say out of a polynomial. So as we look at number or example 3, same idea. I'm looking for my numbers. And so I've got 15 and 9. 9's your smaller number. Factors of 9 are 1 and 9, 3 and 3. And so I'm going to start with that first. And so I look at 9 and I look to see, does 9 go into 15 evenly? Nope. So then my next smallest factor is 3. Does 3 go into 15 evenly? It does. So that's going to be my number that comes out. So then I look at my letters. Do they have letters in common? They do. They have an X in both of them, and the smallest power is 3. And then do they have anything else in common? They don't. And so we write, this is my GCF, and now I divide. 15 divided by 3 is 5. You had 3 X's and took 3 X's away, so there's not any left. Then you have negative 9 divided by 3, which is negative 3. You had 5 X's and took 3 of them away, so you still have 2. And then the Y just gets tagged on because we haven't done anything with it. And this would be my answer. If I look at example 4, same idea. I'm looking for the factors of 12 and 36. 12 is smaller, so my factors are 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. And so I'm going to start with my bigger factor, which is 12. Does it go into 36 evenly? If you're not sure, divide. But it does, so that one checks out. And then they have a letter in common, and the smallest power is z squared. So we're going to do 12 z squared, and then we divide. 12 divided by 12 is 1. So we just get 1. I'm not going to write the 1. You have 5 z's and took 2 away, so you have 3. And then 36 divided by 12 is 3. You had 2 and took 2 away, so we don't have any more C's left. And so this would be my answer. So when I look at example 5, same idea. I look at my smallest number. There's really a 1 sitting here. That's my smallest number. Usually if you have a negative, you like to take the negative out. So I'm going to take a -1 out. And then you look at your letters. So they all have an A in common, and the smallest power is a 2. They all have a B in common, and the smallest B exponent is 4. And then we just divide. So -1, basically, divided by -1 is just +1. You had 6 A's and took 2 away, so you're left with 4. You had 4 B's and took 4 B's away, so we don't have any B's left. And then 8 divided by -1 is -8. You had 3 A's and you took 2 of them away, so you're left with 1. You had 7 B's and took 4 of them away, so you're left with 3. And then you've got -2 divided by -1, which is +2. And then you had 2 A's and took 2 A's away. You had 5 B's and took 4 B's away, so you're left with a B. And that's my answer. When I look at example 6, my smallest number is a 1 again. So I'm going to take a 1 out, and then they both have an x, and the smallest power of x is x. So we take an x out. You have 4x and took 1x away. And then you have 1x squared and you took 1x away. And then you're done. When you look at example 7, same idea. I'm looking to see what my smallest number is, which is 7. My factors of 7 are 1 and 7. And then we look, does 7 go into 12? Nope. So we know we can't use it. And then we look at 1, and 1 goes into all of them. When I look at letters, they don't have any letters in common. So if you can't do anything, then you can just write prime. Or you can write cannot be factored. They mean the same thing. Okay. Because the only thing you can take out is 1. And if the only thing you can take out is 1, then you're done. And then the same thing for the next one. You've got a 1 and a 2. So you don't have, the only one number you can take out is a 1. They both have a y that you can take out. So you have 2 y's, we took 1 away. You had -2y, we took the y away. And then you're done. So that's everything for 2.3.